Hi, welcome to part 2 of the Ava Bikini Top version 3 tutorial. Insert the boning. Cut 2 pieces of Ridgeline boning the same length as the side seams. You can sew over it, so there's no need to cut it shorter. Insert the Ridgeline boning into the channels on each side of the cups. Let's attach the binding. The strip of binding for the underbust should be about 1.5 inches shorter than the actual underbust. Fold it in half and mark it with a pin. Match the pin at the center of the binding to the center front seam on the body, and pin and place right sides together. Stretch the binding to the side seam. Stitch the binding to the underbust with a zigzag stitch, gently stretching the binding as you sew. Don't stretch the body though. Fold the binding back toward the wrong side of the garment and stitch the binding down with a narrow zigzag stitch. Try and catch the unfinished edge of the binding on the wrong side as you go. I have found this provides the neatest finish and avoids flattening out the binding. Using the same method that we used for the underbust, attach the binding to the underarms, leaving a 1-inch tab hanging off the shoulders. Stretch the binding to reach the side seam. Keep top stitching until you reach the end of the shoulder tabs. Sew your shoulder ties. If you don't know how to do this, you can check out my spaghetti strap tutorial, which is linked below. Attach the hardware and shoulder ties. Attach the rings or sliders to the shoulders and back by folding the tabs over to the wrong side and securing them down with a row of narrow zigzag stitches. Secure with extra back stitches at start and finish. Trim off any excess seam allowance and use the same method to attach the shoulder ties to the hardware at the shoulders. Sew the back ties. Fold the back ties in half, right sides together, and line up the curved edges. Hold it in place with some pins. Sandwich the back shoulder ties in between the back ties about 3 inches over from the side seam. Hold that in place with some pins. To ensure that the shoulder tie doesn't slip around while you're sewing the back tie, we're just going to stitch it in place with a little straight stitch. Stitch the curved edges of the back ties with either an overlock stitch or a narrow zigzag stitch. Either will do. I'm showing you with a zigzag stitch on my regular machine because I want people to realize that they don't have to have a serger to sew beautiful and professional quality swimwear. Flip the back ties right side out. Attach the back ties to the body. Line the body and the back ties up, right sides together at the side seam, and pin in place. Stitch the side seam with a straight stitch. I like to finish this raw edge with either a zigzag stitch or an overlock stitch. Secure the seam allowance to the body of the top with a narrow row of zigzag stitches at the top and bottom of the side seam. Ta-da! The end. Tutorials for other versions of this top are on the way, so subscribe, and thanks for watching.